You keep talking on this.
Welcome to Paranormal Palace Radio, where truth equals reality, and truth is often stranger than fiction.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Paranormal Palace Radio. This is your host, Royce the Redneck Radio Man. And joining me tonight is going to be David Farman. And I hope you people can excuse me. That wintertime's coming in, and I think it's bringing its bug with them, so pardon the frog in the throat. But we're going to be talking about a huge event that David Farman is going to be putting on in the very near future on November 11th, 2011. It's called Alchemy Event. 11-11-11, and it was really kind of unusual and rather, you might call it synchronicity that this morning David had called me while I was away from my computer. When I stepped back and called him back, it was exactly at 11 a.m. my time. And, we kind of saw a little irony or a little humor in that, but I told him I was going to share that when we got on the air tonight. But at any rate, they're going to have a really big, event going on. They're going to have a conference. They're going to have booths there, I think, if I remember correctly. And we're going to tell you a little something about the people that's going to be there, the events they're going to be having, and what have you. And we're going to hopefully get this thing passed around. And all you listeners out there, if y'all could help pass it around, I would highly appreciate it. Before we get into this here, I want to remind people that are listening at Shoutcast or at iTunes that the call-in number is 832-632-7904. And if y'all want to join live shows in the future where you can get into the chat or sign up for the newsletter, it's www.paranormalpalace.com. And the registration is free just to keep the spam bots out of the chat room and out of the forums. So, David, how are you doing tonight?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fine. It's really a pleasure to have you on here. And
Same here.
It sounds like it's going to be very exciting up there where you're going to be having this event. Now, I'm not looking right at it. Did I read correctly that this is going to be in California?
Yes, sir. It's going to be. Before that, I want to salute your audience and listeners wherever they might be in the world, or U.S. or out of country, Canada, or Southern America, or any other Europeans or Middle East or Africa, wherever you are. Greetings, namaste, salam alaikum, and peace and blessing to all of you. My name is Saeed David Farman in City of Angels, Los Angeles, and we are grateful on this day. We are with you guys on the air, and basically it's in Los Angeles, correct, and the West Los Angeles near Santa Monica, corner of Olympic Boulevard and Sawtelle. It's in a big building, a conference banquet hall called Olympic Collection Banquet Business Conference Center.
Okay. Now, can you tell me how many days this event is going to run? Is it just a one day, an entire week, a weekend, or?
It's a 3-day event. It's going to be starting at 8 a.m. Friday, 11-11-11. We're going to celebrate the 11-11-11 on Friday. From 8 a.m. to midnight, dance and partying and matchmaking and having a great buffet lunch with everybody and great speakers and meditation, you name it. We will have lectures, panels, and so that's about Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday, it's all ufology, 2012 research and paranormal with George Norrie on Saturday, November 12th. And Saturday our hours are 8 to midnight again. And we dance at night and alchemy, matchmaking and all this stuff. And then, with banquet lunch with George Norrie. You guys are all invited to join us. Tickets are selling online at the moment, alchemyevent.com, ALCHEMYEVENT.com. If you have a problem spelling that, you can go alienevent.com, same thing, ALIENEVENT, alienevent.com. We used to be named Alien Event, and now we are Alchemy. We're mixing these two things together with ET studies, and we call it Alchemy Consciousness Event. And it's alchemy means once you make gold out of different alloys and material. You create gold or different material out of different materials, and using philosopher's stone, or you can touch anything, make it gold. So here with consciousness and raising our vibrations, 3 days ourselves together, and people on internet around the world, we're raising the alchemical rate of human consciousness very high. Not only is it a special day, 11 is a master number. It's 11, 3 11s together is a lot of power. That day we can project a future for humanity. We can project a good outcome for our humankind in the world with peace, integrity, prosperity. We have a number of things moving forward that a lot of humans are helping other humans to change this planet for goodness. And the other side of the coin is some black, dark, evil entities. They're trying to shift the humanity the other direction. So as you see, a coin in your hand, it's got two faces. One side is Abraham Lincoln giving you the freedom. That's the side we're on. Right on, brother.
Okay, that sounded very exciting, and if I can manage to get a ride up there, I do plan to try to do my best to make it. I just can't commit without knowing about transportation. But it does sound like, well, if I can't make it, I'd like to catch it live on your website, and I'm going to have your link up on the front page of my website for the Alchemy event right up until November 11th, or right until the event's over. And then I'm going to probably switch it out for your Alien Shift link, the logo for that, if that's okay with you.
Awesome. And that's the best thing to do. I appreciate that you promoting our event and websites. And your listeners can register for streaming, and for $39 right now on the website, alchemyevent.com. And we might raise that dollar amount because it costs us a lot of funding for a streaming live event, equipment, and engineers. So we're looking forward to all of you guys come online and register for streaming. If you cannot make it to Los Angeles, whether you're in Kalamazoo or Kathmandu, let's join together. We pray, meditate, chant, we dance, we talk, we can connect with you guys all over the world, and we go and raise our vibrations and find out what all these speakers are talking about. You guys listen to so many speakers in that 3 days that it's a lot of information. So we hope to be together. In other words, this is a great opportunity to bring people together.
Well, David, I'll be honest with you. I've been knowing about your website for a few years now. I used to see the, some of your people that were members of your site or that went to your site regular. They would find stuff on it they really liked, and they would post it to different paranormal Yahoo groups, and I would see the things pop up, from time to time. So, I know a lot of people really kind of, evidently enjoyed your site because they were sharing, the links to it, in other words.
Yeah, Alien Shift, it's a lot of 11 years of work, and it's, although I don't have time to update it at the moment, but over 10, 11 years, a lot of information went on that website, and a lot of people and bloggers and groups. Imagine 10 years ago, only few websites. They would really have everything we're looking for right now. We have answers right now. And those days it was very hard to find. We had to, when I was younger, 20, 30 years ago at the expos, we had to go and pay a lot of money to expos, sit in front of John Lear or Hamilton or all those speakers in the and really write down everything. There was no streaming video or nothing. And then we had to wait for them, answer, buy their books, and then read it. Sometimes there was DVDs, and we will. You from old days, you know that Royce, and
Yeah.
you know, and how much things were valuable to us. If we were hear some news about some UFO or alien or Mars or Moon or NASA or this and that, it was a big deal for us.
Yeah.
It's not like right now in 2 minutes everything's on YouTube, and in 5 minutes everybody in the world know about it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And yeah, I have been here since the old days. I've been hanging around on the internet for 15, 20 years myself.
Yeah.
I didn't start getting my own website, I think, until the 90s, but I don't know how far behind you I was, but I was in the groups. I was talking to people and meeting people and, learning, in other words.
Exactly. So what happened was Alien Shift at the time, 11 years ago, we had thousands in bloggers on Yahoo, and they were all researchers, and we were talking about subjects. We can't even discuss that stuff right now. It is so sensitive. And all these people were scientists and researchers. And nowadays, they're all over the place, or on Facebook, or they're in different crowds. They don't even have time to chat with each other or whatever. So lifestyle of humanity has changed accordingly, and we are going so fast that in a few years we will be in different planets as we are right now. Many of us living in bases in different planets, which is not only by U.S. but European or other countries. They're working on those bases and different planetary expeditions.
Yes, in fact, I've talked to Albert Weber and a friend of his. I've kind of gotten on pretty good terms with him myself, Andrew Basagio, and because they tell me that there are bases on the moon, and actually, I think it was Andrew said he has pictures showing that there were telltale signs of this, and I've talked to Laura Eisenhower, and she's indicated the exact same thing.
Well, Moon and Mars is old stuff. We got bases that is not ours, but we are joint venturing with other ETs, and they're in other parts of the not galaxy, but in our domain, and we constantly, with cooperation of ETs, we travel back and forth, and number of humans, they're in front of the contact. And we are pushing the envelope to the new horizons for pioneers of ET contact and planetary travel and expeditions or future. And in hypnosis, I went. I found one gal. She's a doctor, and she makes a future regression. So not many people in the world can do that. So
future regression?
Yeah.
That's the first I heard of that.
Yeah, under hypnosis, when you go future regression, it was so real that I'm still scared of doing that. So the realness of the trip, the regression, because you're in there and you are in there and you're so real and you're experiencing everything is happening there. So mine was 30,000 years, because I was wondering in the regression, I asked the people, in the alien race, where am I compared to my time at the earth, at the living, time on the earth life? And they told me 30,000 years forward. So that was a shocking moment for me. And the planet I was at in the planet, between a lot of ETs, and the planet was half dark, and we were all outside chattering telepathically. And one thing great about that regression was I was amazed how the chatter was done when you have we were like 5,000 people in a big arena.
Wow.
And we were all chatting together. at the same time, simultaneously, without any delay, telepathically. What that means is, for the first time in my life, I was inside another body, 30,000 years forward. And I haven't shared this stuff with many people, but I feel comfortable with you or your listeners. So it's about time we put this stuff on the board. So it was the only time that I could experience reality of this telepathic experience by not physically, but by my soul was there. My body was here. Because you have a soul travel, immediately goes forward. And then what happened was, when I came back, I couldn't figure out how is that possible that all these people, ETs in the dark planet, we were all talking together, me too, and we were all talking very rapidly, instantaneously, chattering, and we could understand. In other words, if me and you were talking right now, imagine there are 5,000 more people are talking to us, and we all talk. We all understand each other immediately as they say something. We all understand it. Imagine there are 5,000 radio signals, and you're grabbing all of them, and we all understand each other. There is no delay. There is no delay time. There is no misunderstanding. It's a speed of thoughts that telepathically you can rapidly. By the time I say rapidly, is 2 seconds is passed. In that 2 seconds, you can jargon a million words telepathically, because the speed of telepathy is far more faster than talking on the air.
And that probably's got a lot to do with the fact that thought is probably as fast, if not faster, than the speed of light, especially when it's not, anchored down to a body, in other words.
That's exactly right. And when you think of somebody, imagine you're doing your work during daytime, you suddenly think about your cousin. At that same moment, I've experienced that lately. At the very same moment, your cousin is thinking about you, because you send a thought and he send it back. And if you call him right there, hey cousin, I was just thinking about you. How you doing? I say, oh yeah, I was thinking about you too. It's amazing that, or we both zapped each other on 11/11 today. It's so it's not coincident. I'm looking at my time on my system. I said, Royce, it's 11/11/11.
Yeah, that was kind of spooky in a way.
No. Listen, yours was 11/11. Mine was 2 hours ahead in Los Angeles. Was 9/11. That was a good one.
Oh my God, that's a double whammy.
It was scary, man.
That is kind of scary. Now, I want to point out to everybody that you can go to learn more about this Alchemy event by either clicking on the link right below his picture at http://alchemyevent.com. And also underneath that, his other website, www.alienshift.com. And in a few minutes, we're going to come back and we're going to discuss a little bit about the speakers that's going to be at this event, which I went to a site and I've seen some of the names. And some of these people I know, some of them I don't know. But out of the ones I do know that like Mike Barra is going to be one of them, has been on my show, and he's always an interesting person to listen to. But we can go into more detail about that. Right now, we're going to take a quick break, and that break's going to probably last about 3 minutes. And then we'll come back and we'll take up where we left off at. And let me put some break time music on in the meantime. Okay, everybody, we are back now to run through the remainder of the show. As I was stating before we left, we're talking to David Farman about the upcoming Alchemy Event 11-11-11 would be the full title of it. And I certainly would appreciate anybody that wants to share this with your friends and let them know about it. And I'm pretty sure that they would appreciate it. And who knows, if you know somebody that's in the California area, especially Los Angeles, might just want to stop by and pay this a visit. And even for people that don't live near there and, you know, can't make it there, you know, in live person, there is a means to watch this on the internet. If I understood correctly, and, you know, David may want to correct me if I didn't, live as it's happening, it'll be streaming on the internet for those that couldn't make it. Did I understand that correctly, David?
I'm sorry, I had to run to get my cord for my computer. Say it again.
Okay. If I understand correctly now, this event will be broadcast live streaming on the internet, and people on the internet will have access for those that are, like, say, in Africa or, you know, somewhere other than California where they can still come to, you know, participate on the internet?
Yes, sir. Most of the event, it will be broadcasted. We mentioned that in the schedule page. Every lecture in Regency Ballroom will be broadcasted live and streaming. On the other ballrooms, we cannot because logistically it's difficult.
Yeah, and you know, I can see what you're talking about because streaming technology, I think, at least in my opinion, is still kind of sort of like in its kindergarten stages and hadn't fully matured yet. Now, I'm looking at your speakers for this event.
Well, wait a minute.
I get ahead of you there?
I'm in the technology, and what you said, I do not accept. And my engineer and the equipment and everything else we planning, and we done a streaming before. Our streaming past 3 events on the alien event, over 500 people listened to it in the past, and they're all happy about it. And we had no regret about that.
Oh, no, that's not what I meant. I think you misunderstood me. I mean, my show streams just great, and I know yours does too, and I'm sure a lot of people's do. By infancy, I meant that, or kindergarten, I meant that, well, in other words, technology is always progressing, in other words.
Well, we go on a stream video. So that's another thing by itself. So live video. Our friends in UK, in DK, and a lot of European friends we have, and all the European countries, and especially in Canada, in Middle East especially, we have a lot of people who are following us, and all these, Brazil especially, all these countries, they they will see the live video and hear us.
Okay. I tell you what, that sounds like something that's really worth looking forward to, especially when I'm looking at this guest of speakers. And now, some of these names I'm going to probably have trouble pronouncing, and I'm going to ask you to help me out with that. But I see a VIP speaker, Swami Paramahamsa.
Paramahamsa Nityananda, he's in India, and we go on live, Skype live with him at 9 a.m. and 3 million of his followers will watch him live on their broadcast. So it's an international event. We all go and listen to him.
And I also see you got Princess Kaoru Nakamaru of Japan. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Princess Nakamura has been on our events before, and you can find her on YouTube or our past events videos. So, Princess Nakamura, what would you like to know about her?
Well, what is she going to be talking about? What's her topic?
She is, to explain to public, her grandfather, Emperor Meiju, is her grandfather, and her family is split from the current family in power. So they are kind of distant from each other. And she's a light worker in a sense that she's educated in U.S. and she went back to Japan, and in a sense that she's very spiritual to a very highly degree, and she's one of us. She's a light worker, and she's an enlightened being, and she's been called mother and so many other things, and she is a great feminine energy in the planet for a spiritual entity in Japan, or a lot of followers. And basically she has different parameters. One of the things she does for a number of years, she's been dealing with politicians, because who she is, and she knows every politician in the world. If she calls Chinese premier, I want to come and see you in 2 hours, they always say, yeah, come on in. So she goes to North Korea, she goes to Washington, she goes to here and there. She knows everybody, and she knows what's going on. And she is, in other words, she's going between countries to bring peace. She's a peacemaker, and she always done that, and she's a great being. And not only that, she had, and she's having a great ET contact. She explained in our last event about her ET contact, and the entity's name I forgot, and how information passed to her from this ET. Anyhow, that's a long story. So that's about Princess Nakamura.
Well, now that does sound pretty well interesting too. I did notice that one of the big recurring themes in this here event is alchemy and Hermeticism, which work pretty much hand in hand, and it's dealing with the ascension process. And you were talking earlier about the Philosopher's Stone and turning base metals into gold. I know I personally read that actually that alchemy was a dual purpose. One of them was for turning base metals into gold, and it was also metaphorically describing the purification of the soul or the spirit from a more baser form into the more ascended form. Is that correct, what I've read about that?
Yes, sir. Philosophers like Ibn Arabi, IBN, last name Arabi, A-B-R-I, in 8th century Spain. His philosophy still is is taught in UK, in the universities and different parts of the world, and different philosophers have touched what you're talking about. And it comes from a spiritual side and philosophy, and you mix different spiritual things together. You create an alchemical process in the human mind.
Okay. Now, before I get out of time on this here, I also noticed that Carrie Cassidy's going to be there, and I know that she was co-hosting, or she did interviews with Bill Ryan for quite a long time. I don't know if she still does or not. And their website, Project Camelot, is still, last time I checked, got tons of videos about, from whistleblowers, in other words, that know a little something about the government and the UFO story. I don't know if she's going to talk about that particular topic at the, event or not, but I do know she knows a lot about it. You got any idea what she's going to be talking about?
Carrie, I know Carrie from day one. She got involved, and Carrie is a great soul, and she is a light worker, and she has the light in front of many groups for leading humans to truth, and she knows so many things that we don't ask her what are you going to talk about, Carrie? What are you going to talk about, Dr. So-and-so? Mike Barrow, what are you going to talk about? All these guys have so much stuff to say. And, Laura Eisenhower, what are you going to talk about? I mean, it's so much good stuff coming out of these speakers that for hours and hours you can listen to them. I wish we had a week or 2 weeks to cover this stuff.
I don't see how you're fitting it all in, to be honest with you.
You can't put Carrie Cassidy in 2 hours, or Mike Barrow, or Laura Eisenhower. Like the other event, 1 hour she talked, it was nothing. For Laura Eisenhower, you need 5 hours, really get in the details, because she speaks so wonderful that, especially in the last event in Los Angeles, some hotel, they crammed a small room for her. She needs a big audience. We're going to have 500 seats, and we can fit more than that in that hall. So when Laura Eisenhower talks, we're going to stream it. The whole world would listen to it. Plus, we're going to video it. So if you guys want to buy the video later, all this stuff is great about Alchemy Event. You don't have that stuff in other events. People going to watch some dance on 11/11/11 or something else. No, come on and listen to these speakers. Have a reality check on 3 days of the greatest event in the history of mankind. I worked myself 6 months to put this together, and a lot of money from myself and a lot of people. So don't even miss 1 minute of this show. If it's not, you can't make it, watch it on streaming, or buy the DVDs later on our website. Hopefully we will sell them.
And I also can put a link on your site to those DVDs when you get them up to try to help get those passed around, by the way. Now I'm looking at this, Dr. Joseph Farrell. He's a very, established author of many books, and I know he's got does scientific research on the paranormal, trying to bring a more, grounded base into paranormal research. And I'm pretty sure that he's going to be like Carrie. You're not going to have it's going to be hard to fill him into a time window, in other words.
Yeah, Dr. Farron knows so much that I was going to give him 2 days, 2 lectures. I'm still thinking about how to do that. And he's on Saturday, 1.5 hours. He knows so much about different, you name it, from Nazi, Bell, the UFO, about all the different technologies Nazis brought to these countries, the researchers and scientists. He knows, he's written so many books that I said, wow, this guy, he is one of a kind. He's got so much research going on. 1 or 2, 3 days is not enough for him to and he's such a great speaker and wonderful. I mean, you guys got to listen to him.
I
and
agree.
Once we bring him on stage, people are already calling in to come into his event. So Dr. Farrell is a keynote speaker, and we are proud to have him.
And you're also having Kevin Smith, the radio host, as a keynote speaker. And I know Kevin, and I got to tell you, in a sense, I know I shouldn't do this, but I kind of envy him because he's one of the few hosts that I actually know of that can do a show solo. I mean, to go up on the air, not have a guest, not to have somebody to, go back and forth with and fill up a whole hour without no help from another party. I don't know how he does it, but I've seen him do it.
Kevin is a big dog. I mean, he's such a great speaker, and he's such a wonderful, the way he puts things together. He is wonderful, and you can listen to him for hours. I usually get bored with people I talk to, and I want to hang up on them. But when you talk to Kevin, for hours, I will listen to him on the phone or on the Skype and say, wow, what a wonderful speaker he is. And he should be nominated for president. If they let him in, I will vote for him.
Well, you know what? While I'm reading this thing, I see that we don't really, I don't think, have enough time to go into great detail on all of them because I want to, let everybody know exactly who they're going to be hearing from there because I think that that's going to really get their attention. For one thing, you're going to be one of the speakers.
Yes,
now,
sir.
There's also Nassim Haramein, and I may be pronouncing that last name wrong, maybe even pronounce the first one, but I got to tell you guys, I have personally seen him on Google videos, and the man is brilliant. You just do not want to miss his presentation. It's a real knockout. He's got a lot of science going into it, and his theory on the beginning and origin of the universe and singularities, and it is just something to behold.
Nassim is awesome. Last time he was in our event, and was it 2009, I believe, and in Los Angeles. We had audience drooling for 2.5 hours. We would not move, especially it was at lunchtime, and we said, no, we're not going to lunch. Nassim, keep going. So about, I think it was almost 2 hours, and believe me, that video is awesome. And it was so good. He called me, he said, pull it out. I said too much, and that's a great audio. I don't want this thing be out there. You selling the DVD.
Now, I'm not familiar with Sean David Morton. I know you are, but that one's a new name to me. Can you tell us a little something about him?
You don't know Sean David Morton? I'm surprised in so many years in this business. It's okay. It's quite normal. There's so many people doing things. But Sean is an old timer in Art Bell times. Sean was the one who would, as a young man, he would go on Area 51 and take pictures and see the UFOs, and he would come on the air at Art Bell show and talk about it. Then he start taking people to Area 51, and with John Lear and the dude, Dr. They employed him as what's his name? Sean is a great researcher. He is one of the best psychics in the world, I would say. His predictions has been 99.99% accurate, and he is traveling. We're going to pre-record him. He has to go to Mexico for some business, and we will pre-record and play his speech at the event.
I'll be honest with you, David. I have no clue how I've never heard of him.
Yeah, Sean he's got so much knowledge. He's been traveling to many countries, Tibet, for a few years he was in Tibet, and with Dalai Lama he was studying, and then not only that, he is a total Westerner. He's from aerospace family, and he's been brought up. He is far cousins of Dr. Fred Bell, who recently passed away. God bless him, and Alchemy speaker, and also he's been in front of the establishment to learn about military stuff and all the secrets and conspiracies.
Well, like I say, I have no clue how I haven't heard of him, but I'm going to get to know him real soon.
Oh, you won't forget Sean once you listen to him.
Now, also, we're going to have Nancy Leader, which I think most everybody's heard of her. You're going to have Alfred Weber, and he's done a lot of work on the Mars bases, if I'm not mistaken.
Alfred Weber.
Did I say Alfred?
Yes, you said Albert Weber. Alfred Weber, yeah.
I stand corrected. I don't know how I did that, but I sure goofed up. Thanks for correcting me on that. I sure made a slip of the tongue.
Yeah, Mr. Weber is a great researcher, exopolitics in Canada, number of years, and is front of many studies and research groups, and with Andrew Bashago and number of other researchers there. They're doing a lot of great work, and he is one of us. Right.
Now, in addition to them, though, you're going to also have Richard Dolan, Klaus Dana, Payne Andov, Mike Barra.
Pane Andov is in Australia. He's a Macedonian who had an alien contact, and Pane was told by aliens to move to Australia to a certain parameter, coordination in, I believe, he will talk about it. He's got, where he lives, I forgot the city and stuff. So, they told him go there, and he took his family, and it's about a decade he lives in Australia. They're waiting for 2012 stuff. So we're all waiting, and 2012 to 2015, we're going to have great events. So we're going to talk about that at Alchemy George Norrie Show.
Yeah, and since we're running short on time, I'm going to also mention real quick, that a panel host is going to be George Norrie. And, of course, George Norrie needs no introduction after his show on the AM, Coast to Coast AM. I had to get tongue-tied on that in there for a second. But, folks, I got to tell you, we haven't even went halfway through this list. There's a lineup full of wonderful people. Some of these people have been on my shows, some of them have not. Some of the ones that have not, I'm familiar with their material, and I can tell you there's going to be a lot of things going out there that I seriously doubt that anybody wants to miss. It's a great place for people who want to learn and people who want to have fun. Unfortunately tonight, we weren't able to go for a full hour. However, I'll be more than happy to have, David come back at some future date. I doubt he can make it before the Alchemy event's over, but he may want to come back after the Alchemy event and let us know of any other, things he has coming up after that point. David, do you have any last minute thoughts?
What I suggest you interview other speakers. We will let them know that you're interested. My last thoughts is, we are living in a great time. And it's wonderful that we're all together on the air, on the internet, and we're joining souls together, and we're talking to each other. And this is a great blessing, and we should appreciate that we have such opportunities that other people might not have in the world. So what you have, always value it. So,
Amen.
Amen. Cherish what you have. Don't worry about the things you don't have. It doesn't matter what you don't have, another guy has. Always cherish what you have. Look at your hands. Look what God has given you. The matrix has provided you. This is the time that you should flourish with awakening, with light, with consciousness, with positiveness. Your soul will never die. We are immortals. We are immortals. Nothing can kill us, even death. So you can change millions of bodies as we've done before through different planets as you go through life from one life to the other. And you change names or bodies. That doesn't matter. My entity is immortal. My soul is old before Atlantis. And I'm here as a new hope for humanity to move humanity forward. Our times is coming up. We will not be in your planet too long as we are called to go to other new dimensions to take over new events. Therefore, help us to bring these messages to other humans. Blog and forward links, call them up, bring them over, come yourself or stream. This is a big event. Be with us and go register. There's limited seatings and go register for streaming at cheaper price, alchemyevent.com or alienevent.com. We hope to be with you at that moment, 3-day event. And it's wonderful to be with you all, you folks out there. God bless. And thank you, Royce, for your show.
And I want to thank you for coming on my show. And I want to real quick, tell the listeners not to forget to come see me tomorrow night. I'll be talking to Michael Sands about how to manage a religious organization. And keep in tune. Sign up for my newsletter. I'll let you know when David's coming back, which I'm going to talk to him about here in a few minutes, I hope. And for now, we're going to go ahead and call this a wrap as we've got other things going on. I want to thank you guys for coming. I couldn't have a show without my listeners any more than I could without my guests. So appreciate it. Pass the word around and let everybody know what you think of us. Thanks a lot. Good night.